What if I told you that daily choice is your superpower? I woke up this morning meditating on the idea of the power of choice in our daily lives. Something that I think that we take for granted. Many of us acquiesce to the victim mentality, overlooking the fact that we have a superpower, which is that of daily choice. There are so many things that we choose to do unconsciously that we take for granted when we are complaining and trying to feel ourselves to be a victim. The thing is that so many things we choose by default, because not choosing also becomes a choice. The thing is that what you feel right now is not as important as what you choose to think next. Choice is involved in so many of the experiences that we have in our lives, that many daily things that we acquiesce in not choosing consciously, we default to experience the things that later we begin to complain about. You see, we choose many things that are important when we are conscious of this power. For example, choice is by consistency. We are consistent by choice. We choose to be successful. We choose to be happy. We choose to be persistent. We choose to be faithful. Think about that, for example. When something unfortunate happens to you and you are with the tendency to begin to complain, there are two options when something, quote unquote, unexpected, unfortunate happens to us. It all depends on what we choose to ask ourselves in that moment that we experience something that is unexpected and we consider to be unfortunate. We can ask ourselves a victim question or a power question. The choice is still ours. Something unfortunate happens, I can choose to ask myself, why me? Why does this always happen to me? This is a victim question. Or I can choose to ask a power question. What is this trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? Is a power question. So, depending on how we choose to think, depending on what questions we choose to ask ourselves, will determine our experience. Animals are ruled more by instinct than by cognition and by choice, as we as humans. Sure, if you pick up a stick and run after a dog, it'll run. If a dog gets hungry, it'll choose to eat. But most of the activities of animals are instinctual and reactive by nature. Unlike we as human beings, we have the ability of self-reflection and cognition to be able to make higher level choices. One of the greatest revelations that I have had was when one time I was riding in a taxi with a taxi cab driver here in Columbia, where I live, and we were talking about the subject of love. Now, I have a master's degree in psychology. I've studied many books about love and things of this nature, and it means absolutely nothing in comparison to what this gentleman said to me about the meaning of love. He said to me something that was more profound than any of the books I had ever read on the subject of love. He said that love is not an emotion. Love is a choice. And then, as I sat and I thought about this, I said, wow, that's deep. And the more I thought about it, the more profound it began to be. Because love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. When we think of love as a feeling, we're thinking about romantic love, which is a fiction. Romantic love is just a fantasy that we create in order to feel complete through another person. And the fantasy of romance is usually an exaggerated version of a person who is not the person that you're looking at. And many times when people say, I love you, it's conditional, because all romantic love is conditional. You give me some of this and I'll give you some of that. It's usually an interchange of benefits and interests between two people. In fact, let me kind of point something out to you. When a person says, I love you, they're in a romantic situation, there is a whisper that comes after the I love you that is not audible, it's not heard, but nevertheless, it is something that a person feels when they say, I love you. This whisper is not heard, but it comes after every I love you. Let me see if I can explain to you what I'm talking about. A person says in a romantic situation, I love you as long as you don't piss me off. I love you as long as you meet all of my expectations. I love you as long as you don't disappoint me with what I'm looking for you to give me. You see, all romantic situations have a condition to be fulfilled in order for the person to continue with the quote-unquote love. Now, true love, lasting love, significant love is a choice. When you understand that true love is a choice, you love a person not because of, but in spite of their imperfections. You love a person by choice in spite of what you feel that they could be. You love a person in spite of any of the things that the person could be criticized for, and you choose, because of this love, to be patient, to overlook, and to make allowances. So love is not a passive feeling. Love is a choice to be patient, make allowances, and overlook imperfections of the person for whom we choose to love. So love is a choice as well. Things that we take for granted, such as faith and courage, are also choices. Faith in God is a choice. Courage is a choice. You feel the fear and do it anyway, so it becomes a choice. Choice becomes a superpower once you realize that it is the determining factor of many, if not most, or all of the experiences of your life. So from this point on, I want you to understand that you are a victim by choice, that you are unhappy by choice. In fact, I think it was Abraham Lincoln said, most people are about as happy as they make their minds up to be, which is another way of saying most people are as happy as they make up their minds to choose to be. So don't overlook this daily superpower at your disposal. Use it more often and use it wisely, because it will determine the path in which you will find yourself. You choose to be successful. You choose to be consistent. You choose to be forgiving. You choose to be courageous. You choose to try one more time before giving up. Daily choice. is your superpower. Use it. This is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach, wishing you to stay consistent and be successful.